All I'm saying is that my relationship with my parents has really come to strains on this podcast.
And welcome to Truly Rotten Tomatoes. This is the episode where we are going to watch one of the worst tomatoes of all time. And it's a podcast where that's all we do. The films that were rated 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
We're not going to be talking about each other's dads. We're not going to be talking about other podcasts that they may or may not have featured on.
We're going to be talking about Police Academy 4, The Revenge. No, just kidding, everybody. This one was called Citizens on Patrol. It's the fourth in the long Police Academy series. It came out in 1987, and let's talk about it. This was one of the worst movies I've seen, and I also now hate this podcast. Why should I have to watch bad movies and then talk about them? Can't we just hang out and talk and not watch the movies? Because the movie part is really painful.
And we don't even have to record it if we all just hang out and talk. We just hang out.
We could just
hang out. Just some boys chatting. But did it really happen if we didn't record it? I don't think so.
This was a real piece of shit, and
this was the first slog.
And I'm talking about the movie. I'm not talking about just hanging out with you guys. Although that's been pretty subpar so far.
And I'm not talking about my dad.
Okay, so let's set the
we hit the
scene.
Play button. 87 minutes. Oh, great! I can do 87 minutes. No, it was under 90. Yeah, It was a great 87. Came out in 1987.
Yeah.
Has all your favorite characters. I've never seen one of these movies before.
Same year as Jaws: The Revenge. That was 87 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got two 87s battling it out.
And it was the fourth sequel, just like Jaws. Okay.
Oh.
So I watched this thing. I watched about 30 minutes of it last night. And then I decided...
You watched about 30 minutes of it?
I watched, and I had to take 10-minute breaks and break it up with the US Office just to clean my palate. But
then... This has nothing to do with the film, but you know Jim is doing propaganda for the CIA.
Jim?
Yeah.
Jim,
our good friend.
I've only watched the
UK
Office, so...
I am
you're talking about Jack Reacher or... Amazon
Krasinski's
series
new
I'm speaking
film.
of Jack Reacher.
He's talking specifically about the actor who plays Jim in The Office.
I'm talking about that guy.
Well, anyway, I watched about 30 minutes. Then I thought this is woeful, and sometimes it helps to have some plants when you're watching these kind of movies. Now, I'm not talking about any sort of illicit or sinister plants. I just like to buy plants and collect them.
Pot plants.
So I went to drive out and buy some plants because they help me focus. I like to put them right next to my TV screen when I'm watching these movies, and they just help me get into the movie.
I feel like this is a car breakdown story. I feel like that's where this is going.
What is it?
It's a car breakdown story.
Well, this is what happened.
From a mile away.
I went to my plant man.
This is more obvious than Police Academy 4's hot air balloon ending.
I parked,
which again I saw coming a mile away.
Which we'll talk about later.
Once we get to this car breakdown story.
Anyway, I parked my damn car in the driveway, and I usually park it on the side street when I'm buying these plants that I like to observe while I'm watching my movies. And I went in to get my plants, and they were right there in the top drawer. I left my money in the second drawer, as I always do. I got this beautiful pot plant.
Deal.
Wasn't a drug deal.
This is just the cops.
This is just normal plants.
I want to hear the story.
Anyway, I got back to my car, which for some reason I parked in the driveway.
That's what I think.
Right.
And then I started the car, but it didn't start. No, the battery was dead.
Oh.
And then my phone died, and I was wearing thongs, so I had to walk 45 minutes back home, call NRMA, get back out there. But while I was waiting for NRMA, I watched another half hour of the Police Academy. Anyway,
that's the way to watch this movie.
I got back at like 1:30.
You're stranded.
I could have finished the movie, but I decided to watch more Office to put me to bed. And then this afternoon, when I was waiting for this Joker to get here, I watched the last 20 minutes of the movie at 1.3 speed, and it was pretty sick.
May I ask, was everyone here at 8 p.m.?
Yep.
Yeah, we're all waiting for you.
Three of us
we're all waiting in your house for you.
Hayden was here. Declan was here. Morgan was here.
Wow.
Mitch, it's your house.
And it's Mitch's house.
I was not here.
What's the deal?
I'm going to be honest. I had an opportunity to drink with people that I thought were cool, and I went to it.
Were they
and we're not,
riders?
And we're not cool.
Is that what made them look cool?
I guess we don't drink enough for you over here.
Well,
knowing you,
we all know that, Dick.
Knowing your idea of cool, I'm thinking you're hanging out with Ian Moss. You're hanging out with John Bon Jovi.
I'm just saying, I'm hanging out with some screaming boomers, and they're loving it.
That sounds sick. So
they're touching my scalp. They're telling me that I'm beautiful. They're saying, "Hey, Coke was better back then." You know, bags. Yeah. And I'm like,
new Coke.
Bags, I know the code for that.
And then who came and picked you up in his newly battery fine car?
No, it I know.
It was
they
all
told me
three
I
of
was
us.
pretty, and
And
they
here
said,
we are, an hour and a half later.
Ready to finally talk about Police Academy 4 Citizens on Patrol. So let's
and
start.
yeah, it was awful.
Opening theme song.
Yeah, what about that
Hang
song?
on, hang
That's
on.
a banger.
Citizens on Patrol.
Before we get to the actual film,
yeah.
let's
Yes.
rewind to because we've got a lot of young listeners.
can you
as
do
I've
that
been
again?
told.
Oh, man.
Oh, he's doing a Michael Winslow himself.
Oh no! Police Academy is a movie, the first one, which I believe was a pretty big success, about exactly what it sounds like it's about, a police academy where people go to learn to be police before they're allowed into the force. And it's funny because it's a comedy, and I'm pretty sure the whole point of Police Academy 1 is that all these people that are enrolled to become police are very bad at that job.
It's also a different series from Police Squad and Beverly Hills Cop, which are other 80s police comedies.
So this is the problem with this movie, and
I
I
learned
assume the whole
watching this
series. The tone is very similar to Naked Gun, and
Slapstick.
it looks the
Yeah.
same, but it just fucking sucks. Like they can't they can't nail any joke. Naked Gun
Every
is the
joke
best.
dies.
There's
Every
even
joke.
there's an
Every joke dies in a way that is painful.
There's even an old man.
not-
The character's name is Commandant Hurst, who is obviously like
Commandant
he's like a B grade Leslie Nielsen. Like he's kind of an old dude.
Is he the old guy at the beginning with the golf balls?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Okay,
I was
so,
ready for a couple of jokes. There
yeah.
are two jokes that made me laugh a lot. Starting with our opening scene, we've got.
We're listening to the song, the title track,
man.
and the thing
I was
is,
into that. That
Yeah.
was the highlight.
That's
Good
a
song.
musical
Great
moment.
song.
So is Police Academy the ones with Axel F as the theme song?
No, that's Beverly Hills.
That's
Beverly
Beverly
Hills
Hills
Cop.
Cop.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
1, 2, and
Yeah,
3.
correct.
Okay.
During
But
that song, Michael Winslow and the main guy, Steve Gutenberg's
Mahoney.
character,
Steve
Mahoney,
Gutenberg,
they're driving in the car. They listen to that song on the radio
Yes.
that we're
and they
hearing as
they
well.
just dance with their hands for like
and he
3
goes to
minutes.
Michael Winslow, "Take it, brother," which I just thought was like, that wouldn't play today. That was a good little moment.
showing of the
But yeah, then you see that creepy, then the creepy old golfer, Trump hair police
Yeah.
commandant
No, so
Laysard.
they pull
Commandant Laysard, that's his name.
Yeah, they pull up at like they've been driving for the opening credits. We're listening to the song. It's very specifically just about the title of the movie, and then it has some weird like voice
Ghostbusters did that. It
didgeridoo
was all right.
sounds. It's very Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But they're like there's like a guy doing that. There's definitely some weird like cool vocal sounds in this song, and I was in at this point. I was like,
Yeah, me too.
I'm vibing.
100%. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, this is gonna fucking
It
own.
rocked. It was really good.
Yeah.
Strong start.
I've never seen the other ones. I don't know who these characters are. I don't really think they have any character except Mahoney is like the prankster, and
Yeah.
Michael Winslow does the
hangs
sounds
out
with his
him and
voice.
makes
Ah,
noises.
yeah.
about
Oh, man, I
Jones?
fucking hate Michael Winslow so
So
much.
bad.
He's the most hateable
But
man.
he made like 4 sounds in this movie.
I know.
It's not even his every time.
I just want to say, with regard to the opening theme song, it was this sick, like, 80s hip hop, Africa Bombata kind of like tribute. The synth sounds were sick. It was actually very, very dope.
Nice gated snare.
But yeah,
There was these like wow things going on.
It was like true to what it was trying to be. So 10 out of 10 for that song. But like during the entire opening scene, as established, the two main dudes are like, some context. I have seen Police Academy 1, so I know that they were both in the first film.
Cheetah. Well,
And they are both, and I think like Gutenberg is it? Who
Yeah.
plays Winslow?
Mahoney. Winslow is an actor's name.
Winslow is an actor's name.
We all
That's
know
bad.
Michael Winslow.
That's real bad. Mahoney, I'm pretty sure. Let's set his character up as being like the sort of
Cheeky.
He's your Dennis the Menace, he's your Bart
He is,
Simpson.
but at the bottom of things, he's got a heart of
got a
gold,
lot of
and
heart.
he is actually good police.
Yeah, the cheeky white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Is he? He is good.
Is
police.
he
he's good
police?
police.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's actually good police.
So
And that's probably what happens in the first movie. I feel like he makes
Yeah,
it
he
through,
must
and he
do.
like rounds up all the guys who are shit at being police
Yeah,
officers and
okay,
gets
so
and
you-
helps
you've
pull them through.
watched
A long time ago.
I also
Yeah,
want to
I've
talk.
watched
Steve
Stephen
Academy.
Academy.
Yeah.
Stephen
Stephen
Academy,
Academy.
okay.
So
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is all I wanted. The only point I wanted to make there was that like during the 3.5 minute intro, which is the theme song
And
playing
them
over the
dancing
radio,
with their
and them
hands.
dancing, it's made to look as if Michael Winslow is somehow beatboxing the entire experience of that song. Did you guys not think this? He's
Oh
like-
yeah.
He's
But
waiting
we
for
can't
him to
hear
do
him.
some sounds.
No. I think we're meant to assume that he's that good that what's coming out of his mouth is this produced song.
Yeah.
That's what I took from it.
I think he just can't not do something stupid with his mouth at any given time, because even when he's not doing noises, his eyes or his mouth are just going bonkers. And when he does the noises, he flaps his lips to quote Jaws:
so
The
annoying.
Revenge.
That's right. It's
So
a real
hard.
lip
Let's
flapper.
talk
He's a
about
real
the
lip
A-list
flapper.
cast in this movie. Though.
You say
There's
anus cast?
the
Because
A-list
I would
cast.
describe them as an anus cast.
We
as
had
well.
some real
Well,
heavy
can we
hitters
talk
in
about
this
Sharon
bad boy.
Stone?
We
and
had
what
Sharon
she was doing in the
Stone.
movie?
We had
Sharon
Sharon
Stone is
Stone.
some sort of love interest for Mahoney, like a
Flapping
really,
her lips.
really
Yeah.
tacit sort
Not
of
flapping
love
her lips.
interest.
I
in this
think
movie.
I think
No, actually, no.
staying in tune with the way this podcast has run in the past. Let's try and chronologicalize
Go
our
through
ways
the
to
plot.
Sharon Stone.
Okay.
I don't think we can.
I think there's a good 10 minutes of us doing that. and then
Okay,
in
well,
between.
look, the next notable moment for me is when what's his name?
Well, hold on. So they're in the car. They pull up,
Yeah.
and then as they pull up, a golf ball smashes their window.
We can't.
That's
we can't.
right.
If we keep going down this much detail,
Trust
for this
me, I
movie,
just want to get first
I
scene
have
out,
to
and then I'm
lose.
ready to jump straight to
It's
Tony
true,
Hawk
it's
and
true.
David Spade. Okay.
It's true.
I
There's-
haven't even gotten
you
out
need,
my notes.
You need to set up the film, which is a good 10 minutes of the film, and then you have an inexplicable sudden end to the film, which is the last 15 minutes. So the start of the film is, yes, there's a cool song playing, they pull up at the police academy, they go into the police academy, and the man who runs the police academy
Is just smashing golf balls in the office. They're bouncing off the walls.
Commandant Lassard.
and this is one of the few jokes I liked. He's doing the stereotypical thing of I'm playing golf, I'm practicing my
golf,
putting
yeah.
in my office, right?
But he's just
using a
belting them.
wedge. He's
Yeah.
using a wedge and he's hitting and
It's funny.
it's funny, right? I told you it was funny.
It's a funny premise, but they don't pull it off.
Almost.
He
execute
just-
it.
So he hits
every joke in this movie.
instead of
dies.
calmly putting the golf ball into the thing and then making a poignant point to the police academy graduates who are there in his room. He's smashing the shit out of the golf ball. It bounces off 3 walls and then does something funny.
Goes through
that
a window.
that
happens
happens
like
3
3
times.
Yeah.
At one point, I think one of the dudes swallows the
Yeah,
golf
it
ball.
lands in a dude's mouth,
Yeah.
and he's like,
But the point is, the setup of the entire movie is this commissioner who runs the academy says... Commandant who runs this academy says, guys, I came up with a great idea. Everyone in the world is behind it, and we're doing it. It's called Citizens on Patrol. Which,
AKA cop.
COP cop.
yeah, which is this idea that we're going to change the public's perception of of police by employing
The public.
The public.
Citizens
to
as the
essentially
police
be the
force.
people. Yeah, the police.
And so we're going to have to train up the worst dregs of society that are going to volunteer for this horrible community service.
That's a pretty solid premise in my books.
It's
if you
not.
ask me.
Yeah, it's not a bad premise. It's that
I mean, it's ridiculous. but if it's
everyone
treated
who's
the right
making the
way-
movie is against a movie that people can enjoy.
And
Am I wrong?
I respect.
You're not wrong.
I'm
You're not wrong.
Not wrong.
I,
Now-
brother.
I respect the way they approach the simplicity of just literally explaining
here's the plot,
from
yeah.
the authority figure of authority figures. This
Yeah.
is what's going to happen.
Right after
Is
our
this,
intro.
is this a movie? I just want to ask this question now. Is this a movie that hates its audience?
Hates its audience. Well, that's
No
what I'm
way.
asking. Is this a movie for kids? Is this a kid? Is
It's
this a
got to
movie
be.
for-
A 7-year-old kid in the 80s would have loved this movie. I feel like.
Honestly, I thought on my earlier today, I thought to myself, I could almost show this to Violet. Violet's
Yeah.
my daughter; she's 6.
She'd be
I could
too advanced
almost.
for it.
She
I
would
think
laugh.
she'd laugh so much
Yeah.
at someone.
Because
Well,
she,
I think-
hasn't
I
seen
think
someone get
this
a
is
golf
your-
ball in the mouth,
That's
walk into
right.
a room and go, "Hey, what I missed?"
Yeah, she hasn't
she
seen
actually
somebody get a
hasn't.
megaphone glued to their mouth.
Yes, she hasn't seen someone have their deodorant replaced with mace.
My
So
God.
let's give the listener an idea of how this movie is structured, which is as follows: introduction, 50 to 60 minutes of
just gags.
what you would almost call sketches, but
Sketches
they're not
slash
good,
pranks.
not good
And
sketches.
half of them were not even related to the training of citizens. I felt like as well.
No. It's like the original cast. They completely ignore what is the premise of this movie.
They also ignore. I don't.
There's also
know
a skateboarding
the
subplot.
I don't know the plot of the first movie, but I know who the main characters were. The reason they were main characters was completely lost on me. I was just like, I know that you are Michael
Yeah,
Winslow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
And,
kind of side characters.
what's the
in
other
this.
guy? Steve
Guttenberg.
Guttenberg. I know Steve Guttenberg. I know Michael Winslow.
Can I ask, as a quick sidebar, why should we know Steve Guttenberg other than...
I know him-
Steve Guttenberg.
I only
That's
know
all
him
I'm
from
going
that
to say.
Simpsons
He's a-
Stonecutters song where they're like, "Who made Steve
yeah.
Guttenberg a star?" And then he's in these movies. That's all I know.
There's
But what else is he
There's
in?
a really good show from 2009,
He's in
2010 called Party Down. That's very similar to
Oh,
The
yeah.
Office or Parks and
Wait,
Recreation.
Steve Guttenberg's in Party
Does that have
Down?
like
well,
Ken Marino?
the
and
premise
stuff?
is there's like
Yes,
this party
yes.
starring Adam Scott
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Ken
yeah.
Marino.
So they go to a
and,
different party every episode,
everyone.
and one episode
Great.
Steve Guttenberg is hosting a party.
Which
and
one's that?
He plays himself.
I don't
He's
remember.
I don't know. He's
Oh,
hosting
sorry.
it. He's hosting a
But
hosting a
he's
celebration.
playing himself.
He's playing himself, and it's like a pathetic portrayal of himself, and he's
I
really
loved
funny
that.
and pathetic in it.
Yeah.
And that's all I know him from.
That show
That's
was good.
that's exactly.
It's a
what
really
I'm-
good show. It's a great show.
Let's talk
And-
about
but-
that for half an hour.
Yeah,
Can
but
I?
I'd never
can I
actually watched.
I want to.
Really good.
I want to
never
attempt
watched
to
Police
summarize
Academy.
the film's story.
Yeah.
And then I want us to fill the gaps because this is.
Yeah,
please
This,
can you because
we can't go through
Well,
this.
just
beat by
before you
beat.
start, there's
think
one
that's the best
after
method
they
for
explain the citizens on patrol thing, the cop thing. There's another cop immediately who's like, "I hate this
Right,
idea."
so this
and
is
it's
more
terrible.
set up,
see, this
right?
is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. We
No,
can't-
okay. Real quick. That's the setup. They're going to implement citizens on patrol.
And it's like a
and
nemesis
then
guy who
and then
hates
it
it.
finds its way to like
Okay,
one
so,
of the
yeah.
local police stations, and there's a nemesis
And
as
he hates it.
Okay,
Declan
just
says, like,
quickly.
And then
no
he goes-
way. That's
That is Captain Harris.
shitting all over the
He makes
what
some sort of
cops-
line where he's like, "Don't put your balls in my
yeah.
hands."
Oh, don't! That is
Yeah.
the second best joke
That's
of the
I
movie.
love that. He's
I
got-
laughed
he's got
for
this-
so
well,
long.
He's got that classic office desk thing where the metal balls hit into each other and they perpetually knock each
Yeah.
other. And somebody
And
touches
Newton's
that in his
Cradle.
office. The guy that he's explaining that to. Newton's Cradle, is it called?
I think so.
I'm assuming the guy he's talking to is named Newton as well.
Oh,
and
sure.
Boy, does he put him in his
So
cradle.
so Newton picks up the Newton's cradle and he's playing with it, and then this guy who's now we know the enemy or the nemesis, the person
antagonist.
the antagonist.
He's the
Um,
mean dean.
We see him pick up this Newton's cradle, and then like bad timing and everything.
He says, "Don't you ever touch my balls without asking." And then you see everybody.
Everyone in the hallway like stares at him.
That made me laugh so bad because I don't think I understood that they wanted it to be legitimately funny and not silly funny. Because all the timing on all these gags is just like creepily off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that guy does a good performance. And
Yeah.
he's kind of
So
like,
I haven't seen any of the movies I'm about to mention, but I feel like Animal House, Porky's, Meatballs, and these are like 80s screwball comedies
Wait,
that
you-
have a nemesis. Shut up, I haven't seen them. They have this.
Wait.
Is what I understand. They have a nemesis character, and the main guys are always like pranking
We
him
just
and
wanna
doing
have
stuff
fun.
to him. Yeah,
Let's-
and then
yeah.
they're always like, "I'll get you,
It's
Bill
it's
Murray."
essentially-
I'm really
think
just shocked that you just named 3 very famous movies that you haven't.
Well, I know their
You haven't
names.
seen any
so
of
I
them?
know
I
they
like this
exist.
because Mitch
Do I get
likes a
points
lot
for
of
that?
movies that I don't understand
I'm just
at all.
no. All I'm saying is that you just named 3 movies that you did not know. Do you know anything about them?
I know that Bill Murray is in Animal House and Meatballs,
What?
and I know one of them's in a college.
Have you seen damn Caddyshack? Caddyshack falls into that like
Yeah.
legendary comedy films, and it's
It's
just
bad.
shit.
There's all this gopher stuff.
Podcast's about to get really,
Again, I think
anxious.
you know how I said that I'd seen Police Academy 1. It may have been Animal House. Let's be honest. I also wrote a script to Bus School, which
Oh,
was
I remember Bus
what
School.
I imagined Police Academy was, which was essentially an academy for people that wanted to become bus drivers.
That was funny. That was a funny
This
one.
is the night that I revealed that I have a fucking anxiety disorder. Like,
I think everyone does, man.
well, this
oh, thank God.
this movie
Yeah, there's
made
people
me,
listening to this getting anxiety. Like, when are they going to get into more detail on the plot?
Okay. Let me try and put a pin in what I was trying to say like 10 minutes ago. All right. The entire movie is set up. The academy wants to start training people in public to police the streets. This man who's already a police commissioner or officer or a high-ish ranks, captain is
Captain
like,
Harris.
nah, fuck that. I take policing really serious. And then,
don't you ever touch my balls without asking.
and then as I said before, you get about 50 minutes of that happening, the academy trying to train people up,
Yeah.
and this guy being like, no, you can't train the public to be police because that's dangerous. And then there's a finale, and we'll explain what happens in the finale a bit later that sort of brings credence to what the setup was. But then, like I say, we're now going to probably spend a decent amount of time talking about what happens in those 50 minutes, which is ostensibly sketches, but badly filmed.
They're
Really
like bad
badly
sketches / pranks that I imagine. I never watched much Jackass when I was in my younger years.
Oh, really?
But no.
Yeah, I
And
can
hear
totally
that-
see Johnny Knoxville being like, "Now I'm going to put mace under my arms."
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think that would even
Or
hurt for
let's
some
lock
reason.
this guy in the porta potty and lift it up in
Yeah.
a crane.
That,
move him into a
there are
stadium.
so many.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start
Well-
with the deodorant one.
Well, hold on. The guy who gets the golf ball in the mouth is Bobcat Goldthwait, who's got a mullet, and he's playing what I can only imagine is like a mentally retarded person who has a speech impediment.
Okay,
I loved this
that was
guy.
Give me a Bobcat Goldthwait, because
Yeah,
this is
give
not
me
just a
your best
character he
Bobcat.
does in this movie. This is a character
Is this
he used
literally
to do.
always his thing? I don't know anything about
Apparently,
it.
he's trying
this
to-
is what I've realized his career is, because he tells people they're like, do the voice, and he's like, fuck you, I'm not doing the voice. See, that's his whole.
Since like the mid-90s, he's been
Yeah.
against it and trying to break people from it. But
and
it's-
this is the first movie where I've really seen Bobcat Goldthwait in like.
I hope he was in all of the police academies because they did not
Oh,
introduce him in
I
this
hope he's
one at
in
all.
7.
I think I was reading up on this last night because I was like, what the fuck's the deal with this dude?
So this guy
I
just
think
makes
he-
like
He's
ridiculous
nearly
facial
unintelligible the entire
He plays
fucking movie.
and this is really bad for people listening to this movie. It's like, these guys are just like rabbiting on about police academy characters that everyone knows about. Like,
Yeah. We're
Everyone-
sorry for that.
No,
But
but this
so-
is fresh to us.
this is new.
It
And
is.
again, the rules of the show, we don't do any research.
But we
right.
do.
I've literally written notes saying, "Oh, squirt on man butt." Like this.
Oh, that
isn't-
was a good gag.
That, I
Yeah.
mean, we
He's
know
eating a
that
sandwich with a lot of
Bobcat-
sauce.
Spoilers.
But explain it. I don't get it. I don't get
He's
it.
eating a
very large
sandwich.
sandwich that
There's
he
2
squeezes
cups.
too hard and squirts sauce on a man's butt.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll
that's right.
get there. We'll get there. That's in the later half of the film.
I think the best approach is to, if you come up with a sketch, please explain it in because
Okay.
it's going to be very annoying
Because
for the
it's
listeners.
physical comedy.
You have to explain it.
I really like. This was the moment that I realized the podcast.
You know
was
what the
real,
problem
'cause
with
I
this-
had
this-
2 pages full of notes.
Just about the tomato sauce squeezing out of a
Yeah,
burger
just-
and onto
just
someone's
about
ass.
everything read in the movie.
The problem with this podcast is, for this 18 minutes we've been doing this, we've just been like diarrheaing out of our mouths about our frustration and trying to, like, I feel like we need to restart this or something. Like, obviously we're not going to, but this is just such a mess of a movie. How do you even move forward and break it down beat by beat?
Let me tell you what happens. Bobcat Goldthwait walks in. Someone goes, "Hey, how come you're not in your police uniform?" And he says something along the lines of, "Regular human clothes make people more comfortable." And that's the movie, like over and over again. It was
How hot is his girlfriend, though?
Yeah,
she's
she
sort
was a
of
babe.
she's all right.
If we can talk about how hot the girlfriend of Bobcat Goldthwait was. Yeah. Brilliant. I like the way that she folded her hair in. That's just what women did back then. Sorry, Dad.
I love the scene where they meet in like a foresty, grassy,
That's right.
wooded area, and they're right next to each other, and then they like look at each other, and they're really far away, and they do a slow-mo run, and it goes for ages, and it's really stupid and classic, and their hair's like blowing in the wind, and then they hug, and
they spin around like 10 times, and then Bobcat Goldthwait goes, I feel a little sick now.
yeah, that is good. So every time he would say something like that, he'd do 4 extra facial expressions.
Oh my
That's his whole thing.
god!
I will say, at the beginning of the film, hated it. Towards the end of the film,
I was
it
the
was
opposite.
all I wanted
I-
of the movie.
I was all in for like the first 10 minutes. I was like, what is this guy doing? I'm loving it. But as it went on, I'm like, I don't get what he's
You
doing
realise
anymore.
that
And I
you
don't know.
weren't with that.
Yeah.
Look, this is an obvious point, but there's so many locations in this movie. Like, there's a swimming pool, there's an air show, they do a pirate ship fight, they're
Okay,
in
so
jail,
spoilers
they're in a
movie.
mall.
When you say
Western
fight as well,
society.
there's a scene that and I watched this literally less than 24 hours ago, but there's a scene where there's some characters having dinner. It's like a family dinner. And the dad is like eating food, and and he says like, "That's not it," and that really made me crack up for some reason. And then he's like, his son says he's speedy or something.
Let me set it up. All right, so there's a family. There's a family having dinner around the table. 2 of them are cops. The dad is like, "Hey, I heard about this Citizens on Patrol thing. I want to become a cop. I want to be a citizen."
He's
on
like an
patrol.
old dude.
And then because the 2
he's
kids,
the best kind of character actor. He's honestly The best part of this movie
Steals
is
the
that
show with
dad.
his one scene.
That dad.
What? No, the mum who walks in and
He said something good.
So the joke is that like the dad's like, I want to become a police officer, and the younger son is like, I don't know, Dad, like it's pretty dangerous. It's not all you think it is. And then that somehow escalates to the point where the dad punches the son in the face.
Yeah.
Numerous
Like,
times.
oh,
He's like, oh, I'm not fast enough to be a cop. Which are?
But it's
Like,
done
hits
in a
him
playful
the
way,
face.
and he's always laughing. He's like, yeah, what do you think? I'm not fast enough. Ah! He literally punches
Is that
him
enough
square in
speed
the
for
face.
you? And he's just like hitting his, and then the son's kind of like, oh, okay, and then he just does it again, and eventually just gets on top of him and just wailing on him. And
But the mum walks in at the moment that the dad punches the son, and she's carrying like turkey or something. Like, here you go, everybody. Here's to eat. She's wearing the apron, and she's like, "Oh, you boys!" That scene was so funny. That was like a sketch that actually worked.
Like pure
my
domestic
favorite scene
abuse.
of this movie
But
was
her
the
reaction
beginning
to
of
it
the
was
movie
so
where I
funny.
was not tired of the movie. I was just like, the dad is the best character, and the mum is the second best.
And then you
character.
never see either of them
Oh,
ever
they
again.
never come back, and you're like, oh no, the movie isn't like this.
It's
scene.
just
It's
more
like
sketches.
A bunch of other things.
Hold on. So right after this scene, my memory is that we get introduced to like a 5-minute skateboarding montage.
Yeah. It would be.
David
Yeah.
Spade rolls up in
It
a
would be
pink
remiss
t-shirt.
not to mention
You
that.
on a
can't
skateboard.
not talk about the fucking skateboard scene.
And it's just like pure MTV. Like the cameraman's on a skateboard following them, getting low angles. They're grinding.
They're getting
sparks
pretty
coming.
gnarly.
So
They're
let's
getting
set it
gnarly.
up. We're already aware that there is a police officer that everybody hates because he's not on board with the whole what is
El
it, COPS thing.
Capitano.
Yeah.
And he's
That's
out.
right,
He's
Captain
out.
Harris.
Oh no, it's someone else actually. So some other police officers like out on the streets on the beat, and then
Is he
like
the nerd one?
I don't
the one-
remember. I don't. No, not that one.
Yeah.
Some dude just out on
The
the
other
street.
problem with this movie
Easier.
is, I don't know about you guys, but if like there's 40 people dressed in the same outfit,
Oh, I'm out.
and they're all like they all look the same height, they're all white guys, and it's just like,
It's
who
hard
are
to
all
know
these
what's
people?
One, if I watch a movie that's all about dirty pigs,
So we've got David Spade and some other dude that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, bunch of nobodies, and then the last guy in the group is just Tony Hawk, a young like 16-year-old Tony
they
Hawk.
rock
Did you recognize him at the time as Tony Hawk?
No, I saw it in the end credits, and I was like, "Wow, that was Tony Hawk," and he got fully like name credited.
because that is Tony Hawk.
That's T-Hawk.
I did not.
They
know.
must have just-
No one knows what we're talking about right now. Okay,
Tony
Let's
Hawk is in
rewind
this
for a
movie.
second.
We
Tony Hawk
must
is in the
watch
movie.
it.
There
We're
you
talking
go.
about
We have been
skateboarders.
You're
It's not a
burying-
movie, it's a tomato.
to an actor.
You're burying the lead. Okay, so David Spade and some dude rock up at like an apartment, and they're like, "All right, cool.
Boom, baby!
Yeah, that's right. That's what happens. David Spade and some other dude, they meet up. They've just skated and met up at the same point together.
Right.
They're chatting about God knows fucking what. They're being young, cool teens. And then the police rock up. They pull up beside them and they say, "Hey, what did we tell you about skateboarding?"
They don't
And
like
David Spade is like, "Oh, we're not skateboarding. We're holding our skateboards and walking."
Wait,
or something like this.
Let me try that, David Spade.
Okay.
We're not skateboarding. We're just walking with our skateboards under our arms.
That's it.
That's
so,
all right.
so that's, yeah, it's not bad. And so that happens. And then they're like, "Oh, yeah, we've got your eyes on you." And anyway, they keep chatting for a bit. And
They're
then,
in the mall at this point? Is
No,
that
they're
right?
outside on the street.
Yeah.
And then David Spade turns to the cop, who's still there for some reason, and says, "How about this for skateboarding?" Smash cut to a 5-minute montage of like some very good skateboarders skateboarding
Wait.
through the city.
I-
No?
Going through
no,
them all.
you are very close.
What happens?
But it is David Spade. He's been gnarly sick. He's
You
skateboarding
sound like you're
away.
about to vomit.
All I'm saying,
Gnarly sick.
Oh, he's gnarly sick.
That's good.
It's that he says, "This is skateboarding."
That's right.
That's where he tears
That's
into
right.
it.
So then
They're
they
like, "You've
they
been
tear it.
skateboarding." He's like, "We weren't skateboarding." And like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "This is skateboarding." That's what I wrote
It's
down. I was
so
like,
inexplicable, though.
"Oh,
It's-
he's so
Well, it's
like,
inexplicable because the skateboarding they do after that point is not skateboarding.
no."
Compared to what they were doing
Yeah,
before,
compared to what
which
they
was
just did.
skateboarding.
So they go through and they end up like
But it
in a
goes-
mall
it
and the cops
goes for-
chase them.
It goes for
Yeah.
4 minutes.
Yeah, it's a big
long.
action
It's
scene.
so strange.
Yeah.
There's one shot where he's going in between people, and just
Yeah.
because I know David Spade now is like a 50-year-old guy, it's just like, it's nice to see. He used to be kind of athletic.
Yeah,
he
he
had some
kinda
balance. He
yeah.
was coordinated.
But like they're doing sick,
Now he's just a
gnarly
klutz.
tricks, and they're just skateboarding to some sick beats.
They end up talking to the cops again in this mall around all these people, And at some point, the cop is like, "You got to stop that!" And he like pushes David Spade into this old man. It's like this old Italian guy in a nice suit. And then the cop is like, "You've just hit this old man," and then they go on the run again, and it's like you pushed him into that guy.
Yeah. It was bollocks.
Anyway, we cut to the next scene. Those kids are in court. They're being sentenced to prison, and then Gutenberg walks
They know
up to
them
the stand.
somehow. They
Why
must.
is Gutenberg in the court?
Gutenberg's in the
Why?
courtroom, and he's like, "Hey, we just got this new system. It's called Citizens on Parole. You want to let these guys go?"
He
goes
So
up to the
instead of
judge.
sending these kids to prison, they train them to be police officers.
But he somehow convinces the judge. He's like, "Look, these guys, you could put them in prison. Sure, that's the law. But there's a new thing that we're instituting where community people join the police force, and we're friends with these skateboarders. Like, there's no intro to them. Do they know each other from Police Academy 3?
But like, no, well, as far as I'm aware, no. But like, they're just sticking up for the little guy. You know, he's just a cool dude, and they want to. But yeah, so then. What slowly starts to happen? I mean, I'm saying that nothing happens over 50 minutes, but what does actually happen is slowly we start to acquire citizens that will eventually be on patrol. So we acquire David Spade and his mate.
Well, no, it's not that slow because we get those two.
Some
you're right.
Old lady
We get
joins.
an old woman.
Yeah.
And it's like the entire movie
That's it.
seems predicated
There's
upon
like-
the idea that there's an old woman who wants
Is
to be a
it
police
just an old
It seems
woman?
like she might save the day.
and I don't think they have really introduced many of the other people there. There's like the David Spade and his skateboarder friend, and then there's old lady.
Do we have anyone else?
There's other people that I don't
There's
really
a-
think
there's
so.
a-
Oh,
okay.
no. Sorry. There is the love interest of, what's his name? Of
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sorry to set that up.
And a larger
Bobcat goes.
young black guy as well.
Bobcat, that's right. Bobcat
Oh,
goes
is
out.
she one of the ones on patrol?
No,
I just didn't realize what.
she's on patrol. Bobcat goes out to like spread the word about.
And how does he say
the
it?
The more I think about this, the more I think that there is like a lot that happens in that middle 45 minutes.
It really does feel that way.
kinda
Where
do
you're
its
like,
thing.
do we skip over? There is a
No.
lot that happens.
No. The movie is this: the man's playing golf. He introduces the idea. Then,
Should I do the Bobcat? I'll try. This is one of those things where, like, in my mind, I can do this bit fantastically, and then it comes out and it sounds so bad.
how many times have you practiced this since you watched the movie?
Not once. I'm just saying in my head, I can imagine I can imagine the throat and the mouth movements.
Yeah,
I
I
would
keep
need to
picturing
make.
the face, but I can't remember the voice. Like,
I need something to say though. I'm going to talk about how would like to have a cigarette.
Honestly, like I've got so many notes for this movie, but just honestly, it really feels like every point needs like a 5-minute introduction. Of like,
no, you're right, and
hard.
that's why the movie doesn't
hard.
work.
one of the best fart scenes in a film of all time. Though.
That's what I was thinking.
Classic.
About.
No, wait.
Alfaro.
Is that what happens when the guy's in court and they're like about to sentence?
Oh,
the-
yeah,
And Michael
He-
Winslow.
He's about to do his defense, like the
Captain
bad
Harris,
cop that we
the bad
hate.
guy who's always holding
He's
like
like,
a cane.
you can't let him be on Citizens on Patrol.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you should put them in prison. But of course, he breaks the one rule of the law courts, which is if you're making a point, no matter how accurate it is, and you fart during the point, they have
null
to
and
ignore
void.
you. It's
No,
null
they
and
hold him in
void.
contempt. Because then later on, like he leaves the court and he's like, "Wow, that's the first time I've ever heard someone be held in contempt by court from not something they said out of their mouth or something that was
Yeah.
probably less clumsy." Actually, no, that's
That's
probably
right.
exactly how the line went.
So,
But wait,
was it explained that
Winslow did it?
Winslow
They
did
don't,
it?
yeah.
They
No, it
don't
doesn't
show
matter.
that though.
Doesn't matter.
They don't show that.
We saw Winslow.
I don't
By
think
the
you
way,
see it.
his name is not Winslow. His name is Motormouth Jones.
Really?
Yeah, there is Mahoney and there's
should be
Motormouth Jones.
Winslow.
That's the two
I
characters
swear.
there.
So when this happens,
They actually.
he's
said the
like,
name
you
of
can't
it.
do this. He's making a proper law argument, and then he rips this huge fart, and I'm like, oh, I get it. And
Guilty.
Motormouth Jones made the sound, and I'm waiting for the point where the camera goes to him, and he's like covering his mouth, or he's showing that he did it, or he's laughing or something, and it just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there and saying out loud, wait, did he actually fart, or was it a fake sound? And even if he did, like it doesn't. Yeah, his
For me,
point isn't
it was
invalidated.
signaled enough.
Look,
So what I'm saying is,
After 4 movies, we know that Motormouth Jones is the king of this.
Motormouth Jones. We leave the courtroom, and this is one of my favourite lines. Captain Harris goes up to Gutenberg, and because he's upset about this new plan that he's put into action with these skater boys, he says, "Has anyone told you recently what a little pissant you are?" And Gutenberg's response is, not anyone of importance.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good
Such a
burn.
sick burn.
That's a very Travolta.
Staying alive.
Staying alive. Yeah, from Staying Alive.
May I say that is a significant way into the film. Like that's
like
Yeah.
oh,
We've
that's,
got other
That
gags.
should have,
The
the first
vagina.
scene.
Okay.
The first shot should have been him
when is
farting.
the first time that Mahoney is introduced to the film? And this is where I'm going to lead into the rotten part of this review.
Uh-oh.
When is the first time you realize who the fucking main character of this movie is?
Is
Well,
there-
the opening
is there-
scene is Mahoney and Motor
I
Mouth
don't
Jones
think
That's
dancing.
interesting.
Well, I'm not going to say that it's not, but is it not a musical montage? So how is that obvious that this is the main character? I'm just saying, like, as someone who didn't know what Police Academy was, this was the slog of this podcast. This
It's
was
a common
like watching
problem
a movie
in
that
films.
you're like,
it's
oh,
about
no.
point of view. Who are we siding with on this?
yeah,
Who do we
that's right.
sympathise with? Who do we see the movie through their
There
eyes?
is no
Whose
part of the
shoes do
original
we feel?
story that I'm like, oh,
Whose shit are we sniffing here?
Yeah. Whose piss are we coming in?
am I nostril deep in some sexless fucko that doesn't connect with human beings at all? I don't know what's going on.
Whose
with
dick
this
am I yanking here?
Can I get some kind of eroticism?
Whose
Can I
balls
get
are in my
anything out
mouth
of
right
this
now?
motherfucker?
And
I don't
more
know what's going
importantly,
on
there's
with
an
the
old
Police
scene with a
Academy
lady
before.
and a gun, and they're like, "You're gonna shoot blanks," and then she's like, "Can I use your massive
Yeah.
handgun?" And then she does, and she flies backwards, but she also hits the
Let's-
hits the ball.
target
Hits
right
the
in
ball.
the
Let's do a
testicle.
quick round table on everyone can explain one of the COPS or
I
the
get another one
COPs.
because I have another one
So,
in my
so
head.
the first one is, and I'll explain this one because I don't think it has been explained yet. Is who's the great man who talks like
Bobcat
this?
Goldthwait.
Bobcat's
Yeah.
Zed.
What do you think? Zed.
Zed.
Okay.
Zed. When he's trying to raise awareness of COP, he goes into like a poetry class.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
explains to the poetry class, hey, we've got this new thing, Citizens on Patrol. Does anybody want to sign up? And he says that, and the woman who's conducting the poetry slam is well into him for some reason, and she's like, oh, I'll become a citizen on patrol. So it's like an intelligent, well-read woman who runs a poetry class. She is citizen on patrol number 1. And that is who we have set up. Declan, can you explain?
I
can
totally tuned out for all of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that-
like, not when you were just saying that, but when you watched the movie, like,
Yeah.
what?
You don't realize.
I,
But
Well, look, Bob-
no. Declan's now gonna.
I'm
give
going
us
to tell another
one.
gag.
No, you're gonna tell us who one of the other citizens on patrol. Ends
Well,
up
is
being.
that the old lady? Well, so there's some hot blonde woman, and there's a scene where they're like, we're going to do drowning practice, where you're like saving people from drowning in the swimming pool, and the hot blonde one's like, I'll jump in the pool first. Who wants to save me? And guess what? All of the men
All
jump
the
in after her.
boys?
dude, she has tits, doesn't she? That
That's
woman.
I think the problem.
She do, don't he?
Well, that's one of the things that, like, honestly though, this I would have
She
preferred
is
to be.
really likable. She's like real.
She's
like,
beautiful.
Her and Bobcat Goldthwait's romance
Yeah.
is like it's not
and Sharon
believable,
Stone,
but you just,
Yeah.
and Sharon Stone.
Well, we're
but
talking
like,
about
I would
Sharon
have
Stone.
outside of those three women though, I would have preferred to be doing nothing than watching this movie. 'Cause
That-
it
this was
so,
one of those
It made
movies
me so concerned
That you
and
just watch straight through
frustrated.
it. And you're like, and you're watching and you go, wait, why are they here now? There's something about an unengaging movie that's almost like hypnotism.
You aren't wrong.
And you're like, have I...
No, I disagree. I disagree. There's something about a movie like this that makes me need to move every 10 minutes away from the movie.
To
Do
me,
you,
it's just like
what
a
is
mental
your watching
block.
experience for this then? Do you do that? Is that
Well, he
is
said
that
he-
from truth or
Yeah,
is
no, I
that
couldn't
drove
watch
away
it.
from
I
the
drove
film.
away from the film
And it
and
still came back
destroyed
to haunt
and
him.
corrupted my car on purpose,
No,
just so I didn't have to return to the
No,
film.
I know that this
Sabotaged my vehicle.
was, parts of this was fate, man. I'm just saying that I really do want to know what parts of this were you.
What part of this was
Your,
was me?
I mean, what
was
your watching experience?
I know.
but that
Okay,
was a
I think I know what you
confusing
mean.
way to
I
ask the
gen-
question.
no.
I'm just saying.
These movies, I don't know what it is about them. I think it's because they're so screwball and goofy on one side, but also there's a aspect of reality to them, and they got each one of those two components mixed up in every single way they could have. At any time a joke was made, or at any time a plot was meant to be driven, or a character was meant to be developed, they got it around the wrong way with like what was meant to be sincere and what was meant to be dealt with in a comedic way, and it sucks.
What about the scene where the mullet guy was like, "And here's the correct way to eat a donut"?
What was going on? I don't think I'm concerned.
That's what I'm saying about this movie.
The movie makes me concerned too. It made me so concerned.
The comedy moments don't land, and the dramatic moments don't land. No, I don't think there was drama in this movie.
What were the stakes?
The
stakes.
El Capitan.
The boss gets
versus
sent to a
Mahoney.
I feel
bar.
concerned now because there's nothing to grip onto. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can really grip onto in this movie. So you've just got to jump ahead to moments like when the dog bites Captain Harris in the balls, and then somebody in response says, Gutenberg says in response, "Are those wedding bells I hear, sir?"
It's a good line, though.
That's what this movie is.
This
That's
is
all
difficult
this movie
to
is.
discuss.
There's
because
also a
too
good
much to
montage
discuss.
where they're training the citizens in like a gymnasium, and they do 3 separate gags that end with a guy in a basketball hoop.
Yes, 3 in a row. Love it. Now, after that, we go to a construction site. This is what I'm talking about. There's so many locations in this movie. It's ludicrous. We're at a basketball game. We're at a swimming pool. I think we skipped a part, though, when they're doing some exercise like next to the swimming pool, and there's a guy on one of those treadmill bikes. Do you remember this? And he rides the treadmill bike, and it goes off the treadmill into the water.
Yeah, I remember.
And he keeps treadmilling in the water, and Bobcat Goldthwait becomes very anxious about this and dives in to save him.
Yeah.
But the guy is just like pedaling full ball, like no one.
It goes super slow motion as well, like as he goes into the water.
It's the strangest thing. Like, why?
Real dramatic.
Okay, so imagine, listener, put yourself in the position of being next to a swimming pool on an exercise bike. And then the exercise bike breaks, so you're just on a normal bike, which then zooms straight off into the pool. And then what do? You like go, holy shit, and you jump off the exercise bike. But this guy keeps pedaling underwater for like
20 to 30 seconds.
And then he rides along the bottom of the pool. It's so strange.
It is very strange.
It's a weird moment, and it sticks out, and Bobcat Goldthwait tries to save him for some reason, even though it's clearly not a.
It's not
real
dramatic
issue.
at all.
No, there's no drama. There's no comedy. There's nothing. That's what I mean. These moments that are filled with nothingness.
Flat, just movie. Let's get smashed through some of these gags. All right, we got they switch the bosses. He's having a shower. They switch his deodorant with mace. Makes his arm pits
Captain Harris
smoke.
walks in the next scene.
Yeah,
and he's got his arms up in casts.
They're all like he really did permanent damage to these arms. He gets a megaphone glued to his mouth. He doesn't expect that. There's a part where they send him unwittingly to a gay bar. And boy, does when he finds out that
he tries
it's all
to
men,
leave and he gets forced to do a samba.
yeah, because they're like, hey, nice cop outfit. I wish I brought mine. And they're like kind of dressed like the YMCA guys.
Because salad
Village
bar
people.
equals gay.
He says something like, instead of "I wish I'd brought mine," he was like, "I would have dressed as a sailor."
Oh, yeah.
Like this, yeah.
Hey, look, I liked it when they finally got the COPs out on the street. They brought David Spade and the other guy out on the street, and they're driving in the car, and the guys in the back, who are the COPs, ask Gutenberg and Winslow in the front, "Hey, what are we doing?" And they go, "We're going to go apprehend 2 known felons."
Oh, this part was crazy. So this is where the movie fully changed for me, and I was in on this scene. But it was like training day type shit. It was like, we're going to fuck with
I like the
newbies.
scene, but I like this back and forth, because he goes, "What are we doing now? We're apprehending 2 known felons." And the guy in the back goes, "I'll be going home now." And he closes the shutter. It's like, that's my favorite.
So then
that's my favorite kind of
They
line.
completely fake this scenario where they like fake a shooting.
Yeah.
Right? And Winslow's doing gun sounds, and they're pretending that people are getting shot.
That's
and
it.
then they arrest one of their cops who's dressed as like a Rastafarian gangster.
Yeah.
And they chuck him in the back of the paddy wagon with our 2 like apprentices. And they're just like, this guy's a serial killer. He was shooting people. He's like completely just not handcuffed. He's just sitting there like muttering stuff to himself.
He says, "Don't let his voodoo scare you." And speaking of voodoo, the guy that I mentioned in the last episode when we were talking about Jaws: The Revenge, I think I mentioned this. I work with him, and he said he used to watch that movie, and there's some incidental music in that movie. He can't go in the ocean because of that. Yeah. And he told me that there are parts that are taken out of Jaws 4, just to go back to that movie from last time, that were part of the movie. He says is in the story. There's a voodoo curse placed on the family, but that ties that shark to them. So all the visions that the mother is having in Jaws the Revenge is linked to a voodoo
Does this
curse.
happen in like Jaws 3?
No, it's taken out of Jaws 4.
Oh.
It was originally intended to be part of the story. That's why
That's cool.
There's that weird feeling of like, and that's why my theory about them being like the Montagues and the Capulets is actually holds some
And
water.
also, isn't
No,
it
it
amazing
does
how
not.
much? Isn't it amazing how much we just want to talk about Jaws 4? Because
just
this
wanna
movie
get
was
back to
so
Jaws
fucking
4.
bad.
How good was it? Like 65, 70 minutes into this movie, it just goes, meanwhile in London. And I was like,
why were they in London?
Where is this
Well,
coming
I
from?
don't remember
hold on.
this.
Oh, wait.
Is this one of those
In
DVD
this
release
movie-
things? I don't remember.
No.
This
This is where the
happening.
commandant has been the whole
You catch
time.
up with the old copy.
Ah,
Oh, this
that's
isn't
right.
a Jaws remix kind of moment.
The
I'm so
commandant has
sorry.
instated this COP idea and then immediately just flown off to London.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't think it was explained.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's
it
just
was.
like at a cafe in London and they get a call about how it's
It
going.
seems like
or
he's
something.
hanging out with international representatives of the
I'm
police.
proud. I'm
Yeah.
proud to announce that you guys paid less attention than I did. It's mentioned earlier in the movie that he has to go away and do that, and someone needs to take care of.
But you didn't even know that he
cops.
went to London, so
Well,
where were
I
you
didn't-
paying attention?
Yeah.
A
That's
big
true.
title
That's
comes up
true.
that says, "Meanwhile in
That's
London."
all I saw in the
Yeah.
movie.
But I remember him going to London and for a reason, and for some reason there are only Japanese people there.
He's telling other people about the COP program, but he doesn't even remember that it's like not his idea, and the guy next to him has to like whisper and say like, "It's called the COP program," and he's like, "Yeah, I invented it. It's going great."
So Gutenberg has a love interest in this. There's a media woman or like a woman.
Yeah,
from
she's
the
a
media.
journalist reporting on COP and its effectiveness, and she's played by Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone.
Sharon.
and she's a good looking woman in this film, I would say. But like,
I noticed
she
you haven't
has
said that about any of the men, you misogynistic,
Sorry.
sexist pig,
I don't know.
objectifying everyone.
Gutenberg has a certain je ne sais quoi. And
Michael
Winslow,
Winslow,
man, I
he's
would
got
love
a
to get
voice
that
that'll
mouth wrapped
Drop
around
those
my
panties.
Winslow's gonna die.
Anyway, so what's the
Sharon
deal?
Stone's in the movie.
But Gutenberg
Barely though, she
instant-
kind of just shows up every now and then.
Hardly.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, is this not a movie that you realize the main character's like a bit too far into the movie?
Yeah. You don't.
Like, it's difficult to focus on like, who am I with here?
who do I care about?
I definitely
Yeah.
don't care about any of these relationships.
There's no ensemble. I mean, it's only ensemble. There's no main character. There's also a character that doesn't speak very much that I remember from one of the earlier movies. And her whole thing in the early movies was that she never said anything, and then she spoke up and she
was
had a squeaky voice.
Was she
Oh,
the
yeah.
dark-skinned?
yeah, the short, dark-skinned lady.
Who
And
had
she-
the mousy voice that
Yeah.
was?
She had a.
Oh,
thing
can I
that was rolling
talk
in
about
this
my
movie.
favorite gag from the movie?
Oh, okay.
Which
all right.
it's just not a gag. So the
Oh,
man that we all
no.
hate, like, rocks up to like
Captain Harris.
El
Captain
Capitano.
Harris turns up to a police-like public event,
Mm.
and for some reason he's having to show everyone in his audience how to inhale oxygen.
Oh yeah, classic.
But there's also a helium balloon
Balloon.
stall there.
Someone's controlling it.
And so, at anger against Captain Harris, they swap the oxygen tank for a helium tank, and he's explaining how to deal with putting an oxygen mask on someone in case of an emergency. And of course,
his voice.
his voice goes sky high.
For
and
one line, he says one thing.
that's right, and he's so embarrassed.
Yeah.
What a sketch.
Honestly, like, does this movie make anyone else feel very uncomfortable? Because there's many
Makes me
points.
concerned. I would never say uncomfortable. Concerned and
No,
baffled.
no, there's points that I laughed because I was like, oh, this movie's antiquated. I fucking hate it. No, I don't know. Is that
wanted
is
it
that
to
a
be
crazy
all right.
reaction to
That's
this
just
fucking
crazy.
movie?
You
I don't
ain't
know.
crazy. You ain't crazy.
It just made me fucking angry. Maybe I have rage.
I kept
problems.
I wanted the movie to be all right, and I don't mean like that's all right. I mean like I want you to be all right. Are you
Yeah,
okay?
no, I know.
Are you
You're really
okay?
struggling.
It's
It looks like you have some
honestly.
issues.
Yeah.
I'll say that this is on episode 3. The movie that stressed me out the most.
Yeah, this movie sucks. This podcast therefore sucks. I hate
Yeah.
doing it, and we got like 50 to go. So this tomato's very rotten. But let's quickly get to the end. So there's a part where
Wait, can we talk about the erect nipples at the pool party? Cause
No, we can definitely.
I
talk
don't
about
remember
the
this.
movie.
I didn't see this.
I mean, all the broads in this film are banging, and there's all these erect nipples at the pool
It
party.
does make
again.
you think about like that. There was a time that you could make a movie and people wouldn't call it really that bad if it had like
I think that's why people would watch it.
female
right?
nudity.
Just
Yeah.
hope.
I also wanted to say Bobcat
'Cause I remember-
Goldthwait in general is way more funny when you watch the movie at 1.3
Oh,
speed.
yeah. You know,
Because his facial expressions, if you watch them at normal speed, they're a little too slow, and it's like, I'm not convinced by this insane man.
Yeah.
But if you put it at 1.3, it's genuinely terrifying, and it sort of like makes you want to laugh in an anxious, like,
So I really like the idea in my head that Goldthwait would say to the director, look, I'll say the line and then I'll give you a few different expressions that you can throw into the scene or end on. Just pick one of them and we'll be good. And so he'd do 4 or 5 after every line, and the guy just left them all in. And so literally every time he says a line, it's just like scrunching his face up for 4 seconds, like in different reactions.
I think I'm in the camp of like he grew on me, because to begin with I was like, what the fuck? But then there are some times where that sentence like that, and it did make me laugh. Because it was so abrupt.
It does,
Yeah.
and I think that's the thing that might save this movie is that you think I'm learning about Bobcat Goldthwait in this moment where I'm like, oh, this is what he did, and then there's just moments that
there's an idea.
he gets it really right, and you can't hate it. But there's no way to hate that.
But
You
there's
suddenly-
seconds.
yeah,
There's
that's so
seconds in
true.
it. It's like listening to an unmixed song where like
Oh,
there
yeah.
are portions of it that are like, this is pretty good, but you need to fix that part. Like, it's just not consistent.
You know, he
Don't
toured.
love the
You know, he
effort.
toured with Nirvana, and he was the opening act, doing like
So
comedy
weird.
before Nirvana would play. Could you imagine him just coming up and doing that voice
is it-
and
that's
yelling
a
at the
real
crowd?
thing
That's
that he did?
100% true in the early 90s.
If we can just
Right
jump
before Nirvana were dead.
randomly to the part where they're fighting on a pirate
Hold
ship.
on. So there's 3 parts I remember in the
Yeah.
movie that we haven't talked about. Number 1, the COP people, the citizens, bust some sort of like, I don't know, are they doing bootleg jeans
Yeah,
or
something
something?
like
And they're
this.
like,
Everybody's
this was our
selling
biggest
stuff.
undercover operation, and you guys ruined it. So then they're in trouble. The next scene, Michael Winslow's fighting ninjas on a
Oh,
boat.
by the way, during that scene, the old woman
Oh.
comes in and she's like, "Stop, police!
Yeah.
It's a citizen's arrest." And then she jumps on some guy.
Yeah.
That was a moment where it could have been really funny if she actually beat the shit out of him, because the old woman, like, you're meant to play into, she's no woman, she can't be doing anything
But
like
it's
this.
not there.
Yeah,
it's just
it's not there. And there's a
But
guy
if she
next to her who
did,
just,
if she
who
beat
just
the
legs
shit out of
He
him, it
just,
would've been so
runs
funny.
to the door behind.
So what's after that?
So I don't know why, but Michael Winslow ends up fighting like Asian ninjas on a pirate ship or something,
And one of the
and doing
Asian
like Japanese bad dubbing
voices,
of a karate
because he
movie
can't
kind
turn
of
it
thing.
off. He can never
Yeah.
turn it off, even when he's in the middle of a
So
serious
funny.
situation.
And it's not even good. Like he moves his mouth 100 times and says like 2 words.
Yeah, but his friend, who is also Asian, like, and on his side of the fight, he's fighting and pulls out chopsticks. Do you remember that? He literally pulls out chopsticks, and he looks confused by that, and then he continues fighting.
He's confused by his own culture. But let me set the finale up. So why are we suddenly having a finale? Let me tell you. So the guy who invented this COP program goes over to England. And
Commandant Hurst.
he meets a bunch of people and is trying to like impress them with his new program, and they're like, wow, this sounds great, let us come back to America and see your new program in action. So they come back to America, they do a surveillance of like a jail, and a bunch of, I'm not going to go into the details, but like while they're inspecting the jail, a bunch of people in the jail break out and they start like trying to escape, and these are hardened criminals. So
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
didn't
right.
understand that part.
and
Yeah,
so
it's crucial.
because they break out of jail, obviously suddenly people are trying to catch them. But who's going to catch them? I'll tell you who's going to catch them. The fucking COPs.
The citizens.
The
on
citizens
patrol.
on patrol.
Parole.
On parade is what I was going to say. Anyway,
Citizens on parade!
so these fucking like guys that are, these escaped cons are running, and they're trying to escape, and some of them try to escape on a pirate ship, which is why there's a battle on a pirate ship.
That's why they do that.
And some of them find
Take to
an
the
air
skies.
show. They find an air show where there are planes and, there are hot air balloons.
balloon.
Some of them jump into a hot air balloon. Some of them get into a plane. And here we are in our
We
final
have like a
scene.
full-on expensive like
Yeah, this
Christopher
was a bit.
Nolan-esque air battle.
Oh,
Just
dude,
planes spinning
Yeah.
after each
There's
other.
a
I was
part-
a little bit impressed by it.
Because I mean, it really is like part of the climax of the movie. But did I realize that at the time? No.
There's a part.
I believe
during
you
that-
were falling asleep
I
at
I
this.
was
realized
definitely
because-
falling asleep at this point because this is where my notes start trailing off. Not yet, but close.
I realized
I can
that
see
it
the
was
last
ending
paragraph of your
because-
notes. It's just Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z.
I realized it was ending because I was so excited for it to fucking end.
Yeah.
Honestly, my notes go like this: motorcycle rescue, Bookham Tech, Bowden Ninjas ? Sound effect guy stronger as a result of sound effects. Fell asleep, genuinely sap my energy. No, it has something to do with hot air balloons. And then COP reprise.
Hey, that's pretty similar to mine. Mine go like this: why are all the cops in prison? What is the international incident? Air show, hot air balloon, planes, river, waterfall. The stuntman going down the balloon was actually awesome. Did you see that part?
Yeah, that was sick. That was
I
really sick.
did not.
That was
what
awesome.
happened?
One of the cops jumps out of a balloon onto the enemy balloon and starts climbing down that air balloon.
No, I did see that.
That was
I did see
awesome.
that. Yeah. That
was very sick.
They got a stuntman to actually do
But
that.
again, there is a kind of delirious favor to this movie where I'm like, what was the point
That's
at the
just
beginning of
being
this movie?
asleep.
Well, okay. All right. Declan.
Don't blame the movie on
All right.
a delirious
Sleeping
dream.
does not help.
Maybe
a movie.
I didn't
There were
fully
lots of
give this movie
full
my
fucking,
full power.
jumping out of airplanes
parachutes.
onto fucking hot air balloons. It was sweet. And then also
Upside down
So they
airplanes.
ground the hot air balloon, they get the bad guys, and then another hot air balloon starts to rise, and everyone's like, "Who's in that?" Right? And it's Gutenberg and his
And
girlfriend.
Sharon Stone.
Yeah, and
I
she
don't
or he
remember
says,
this.
"You look like Tom Cruise in Top Gun."
No, who says that to who?
One
Sharon
of them says
Stone
it to the
says
other.
that to-
Yeah.
No. I think that was Bobcat Goldthwait telling that to the short cop, whose only identifying
Oh,
feature
right.
is that he's short.
Yeah, that's right. He says it on
That's-
the ground
yeah,
as
yeah.
they watch this hot air balloon rise.
Yeah.
Can I talk about there's a joke that's meant to be funny where so there's a cop, we haven't talked much about him yet, but he's just very, very short and he has glasses
cop.
and
Yeah.
comb over.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
We know that he's got glasses and that he sucks.
Yeah, and we hate him.
Oh,
we have to
hate
hate this guy.
motherfucker.
Anyway, at one point his glasses, both of his glasses get smashed, and he turns to Bobcat Goldthwait and he says, "Have you ever thought about wearing contact lenses? Because you look good." And the whole joke is that this guy's glasses smashed. I don't know. It's not much of a gag, IMO.
All right, cool. Are we done with this movie?
I think we're
No,
fully
I'm
done.
one.
Hang on.
This tomato.
So wait.
I have questions.
So-
I have
no,
questions.
there are
One,
two- wait,
two.
wait,
If we
through
can
the-
wrap this up,
we'll go
in-
through
Let's
the old
tie it
notes.
up. Let's
Put this
so
in 3
the
points.
end.
One, I know that we've called this a movie more than we've called it tomato.
Ah, shit.
The entire podcast.
And this
there
one
was
deserves
no
the
point
least
that I
respect.
corrected anyone.
This
I know
is
that we
not a
started
movie
at
by
the end.
any definition. This is definitely a tomato.
100%
and
a
it's
tomato.
truly rotten.
We know what it is.
Don't watch this movie. We watched it so you don't have to. Please.
I am keen to find out what everybody's rating is. The movie hasn't been fully okay. The bad guys are pulled to the bad guys are what do you call it when captured? The bad guys
You're
are captured.
Finalizing it?
Yes, we need to understand how it works.
Okay, wait.
The bad guys are captured on the pirate ship.
The bad guys were only introduced in the last 20 minutes.
Correct.
Of the movie as well.
So there's no stakes. Except
it's
that
not a movie.
The commissioner wants to prove that his cops thing works. So the bad guys are reprimanded on the pirate ship. Then some more are reprimanded off of a hot air balloon, and then some more are reprimanded off an actual jet. And then all the British people or all the Japanese people are like, "This is a great system. Let's implement it back in Japan."
Oh, who cares?
Then what happens after that?
What
then?
you just said, the captain
the happy
wants
ending.
to prove that his program works.
Yeah.
Is that the stakes? Because that doesn't affect
Those are the
Gutenberg
stakes.
or Winslow
There's
at all,
nothing.
and that's why we don't
There's
care.
nothing.
They want to
Oh.
prove that no Gutenberg and Winslow want to prove that it works because they don't want the bad guy to be like,
Who knows
no,
what
doesn't.
win-
Because
who
the
knows?
bad guy doesn't.
Do they
want...
show any interest in the
No,
program?
no. Who knows
Own-
what Winslow
own-
wants?
No,
They have
I'm
nothing.
telling you, they only,
Nobody knows what
they
Winslow.
only care because they want
Winslow.
to prove this guy wrong, and the reason they want to prove him wrong is, as you guys would not know, is I'm pretty sure he's one of the bad guys in like the first.
I know you've watched Police Academy or something like that, but I don't want you to legitimize some fucking fuckery.
Bad
This
cinema.
movie gets a 2.5 out of
sense.
10
Oh god.
Rotten Tomato
But does
from me.
does anything happen after everyone's reprimanded?
Don't know, don't
Oh,
care.
yeah, then it's the classic like end of comedy movie 80s where it's freeze frame on people's face and tell you who's in the movie.
Yeah, but it doesn't do it like this is what
No, it
happens
does
to them
that in
after.
the
It
credits,
just says the
and it
actor's
repeats
name.
footage we've already seen,
Yeah.
giving us no additional.
And it's just like 3-second shots of people like turning their head
but
and being
we
like
do
Tony
get to
Hawk's
see that
in this
excellent
movie.
gag where the tomato sauce goes on the copper's
A
butt.
second
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what we
Wait,
need.
did
The
we
best
stop
gag.
to talk about the moment where a cop squeezed his burger and then sauce squirted?
What are you talking about? Yes.
Yeah.
We did stop at
Yes.
that moment.
I just
I'm
referenced
glad
that.
that we did.
I just referenced that.
I just wanted to make sure that
You
we gave
brought it up
proper,
originally.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give
movie
proper airtime
sucks.
to that
This is a
moment.
This
piece of
movie
shit.
sucks.
Right.
This podcast sucks that I have to watch
never-
this movie.
Enjoyed a Police Academy movie. This is a 1 from me. Sucks.
So Morgan gives it a
Piece of
1.
shit.
Now, does the 5th movie in this series somehow get higher than a 0 on our fabled Rotten Tomatoes website?
I would
Are we going to
watch
have
it.
to watch more of
There's
these?
like 9 of these. I'm sure there's 9.
There's
or
no
10.
way that this is the
There's
only
7.
bad one.
I know that there's
7.
7 Police
Oh.
Academy films.
Why only 4 did make it onto the list?
Yeah. Well,
Michael
thank
Winslow
the
can
Lord.
only do that many sounds.
I know, there's only 7 sounds in the human vocabulary.
Winslow.
Do you reckon he's really good at sounds? Is
I
it like
don't
they
know.
found him in a talent comp and
I
he's just
hate him.
not- he's
He
pretty
embodies
annoying.
everything that is wrong with
'Cause
this
it's a movie, you can fake
He
the
is the
sounds
spirit.
anyway.
He is the soul of this movie.
Alright, I'm gonna jump in and I'm
Winslow
gonna...
in this movie was like
I just
a
hate him in this
D-list
movie.
character. He had
He-
3
he-
lines.
he
and
wasn't-
was, yeah,
everyone-
not even main
Everyone was a
character.
D-list character.
All
Nobody
right,
held
okay,
any importance.
If we talk about one scene of the film, can be the moment that the stereo fails and Michael Winslow has
Oh,
to
and
make
he does like
the sound.
a feedback on a megaphone.
And the lady running the class is like, great choice.
What class? I don't understand. What was the
Loves
class
it.
again?
That's right.
The
yeah.
character is big old titties, but there was a point that movie characters used to be able to be that.
And
And,
now,
I really-
now they have to be small titties. They only let the small titties in.
I really feel like
Alrighty.
that was
So-
a significant time in life, and
Yep, it's different now.
Now look at these
So-
movies.
I'm
They
glad
came
that
out-
we were able to revisit.
Listen
Police
up.
All
Academy
just
1
mammary
came out
glands
84.
and human fat, baby.
Police Academy 2, 85. Police Academy 3, 86. Police Academy 4, 87.
Are you
Police
reading
Academy
this on
5,
Wikipedia?
88. Police Academy 6,
IMDb?
89. And then the 7th one, 94.
94.
Yeah, consecutive years until the 7th one. Then it comes out 5 years later.
Is the 7th one like National Lampoon Presents?
Mission to Moscow.
Oh. I thought it was going to be Mission to Mars, and I would have watched
Didn't
that.
listen to the question.
Alright, let's go around the circle. Declan, what's
I'm
your
going to go
score?
3 out of 10 for a Rotten Tomato.
Mitch?
The exact same. No, it's 2 out of 10. I'm so sorry.
Morgan?
It's a 1 from me.
See, the thing about giving it a 1 is that, like, that sets you up for what if there are way, way, way worse films coming up. Which
Way
is what
worse films are more entertaining. This
I
was
managed
worse
to
than
watch
nothing.
the whole thing in one sitting, which is why I've got to give it a
Me
3.
too.
I think if you can watch it in one sitting, 3
me,
stars.
I couldn't
These
like.
guys didn't, so...
The-
3
Hey,
out of
just
10,
be-
by the way.
Just
We're
because
grading out of
I'm not,
10.
I'll
I'm not
give you-
aware
look,
of the points.
I'll
that
give it
I
a
watched
3.1.
and
To
versus
describe my
doesn't-
rating,
didn't watch, but
I was happy for my car to break and me have to spend hundreds of dollars and hours like replacing it just so I didn't have to continue watching this movie at the time.
Done. Dead. Let's never speak of it again. On the next episode, we're going to watch Wild Hogs, which I don't even think is on the list.
That's right. If you're lucky enough to subscribe to our podcast, you'll hear the next iteration, which is we're going a little off script here.
We're going to
boys.
bank Wild Hogs immediately after this episode. We're going to watch it live and record a podcast while we're watching it.
So if you can be bothered, this is your warning. In a week's time, if you download Wild Hogs, if you legally obtain Wild Hogs and then get ready to watch it whilst we give live commentary, you're welcome. And otherwise, you can just download it and watch it whenever
Yeah,
you want.
subscribe to the podcast. Actually, just send me money on PayPal.
Hey, before we close, any musical moments other than the intro song?
Intro and outro.
That's it.
Came back.
That's it. There was nothing.
Synth, hip-hop.
It was so sick, though. It really
There was-
yeah,
there was a-
I gotta say that the
Citizens
music of
on
this
Patrol.
movie was sick, and that is the truly fresh part of this movie.
The music
I
in this-
genuinely really did enjoy all the music.
The music in this tomato was off the chain. There was a song called Rock the House that I'm looking at right now. I don't remember how it went, but at the time I must have been blown away because I wrote it down. Police Academy 4, Daryl Duncan, Rock the House. Let's go out on this. Thank you very much. This is truly Rotten Tomatoes, Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol, Police Academy 4.